Hello there, dear people of Monkey Man's Jungle League. My name is the Walrus, and I'm here to enjoy a bit of the podcast with you. I will overall do it a bit more focused in Europe this time than usually on Asia. So I will just do a small thingy about Asia, because I think Asia overall isn't that difficult to overall rate, and I will more or less go over the regions instead of nations this time, because I want to analyze some other things. So we will start with Usugi. Usugi's biggest problem is the low income. Also, he's not fully orthodox yet, as this is all Shinto. This is all Confucian, so as you can see, he likes a lot of orthodox. Which is hurting his country quite a bit, but he will have a pretty good 18th century, I guess. Compared to the other Asian powers, he is currently the weakest one, which isn't really a shame if you compare yourself to Manchu, Punjab, Tang, and then Yue. But yeah, overall, mediocre manpower depth. It could be way better. But that's also correlated to the fact that he has a lack of proper converted religion, which is also hurting him, because as more religion he gets of his our own religion, he will get these up. These bars, like literally giving him 20% more manpower, which is insane to begin with. Otherwise, you already built the barracks, accepted the cultures. Some provinces have a weird non-prosperity phase. I don't know why. I guess because of the tsunami disaster. But yeah, it is what it is. He's nearly fully built on manpower buildings, but I don't really see him expanding right now, which is more or less his biggest problem. His number of provinces is also quite low at around 101, even though he played the country decent enough. Also, he's in the war with Batua for fuck knows why. But yeah, it is what it is, I guess. It is what it is. Howdy, War Googly, Credix, Danny, and Zaibu. How are you guys? Next nation I'm going to take over looks Manchu, and I need to excuse me. Manchu overall is experiencing a problem, which is more or less due to the fact that he is a horde and that he did not fully complete his snowball. He's probably still one of the strongest nations in the world when it comes to warfare, but look at this, like next to no manpower death, his manpower is nearly solely existing on Manchurian ideas and some parts of his country which are daft. But man, like, you can still depth so much more. Like, I know this area is overall pretty poop, but it's just 20%. Like, it's devable. Like, desert is shitty as fuck, but you can still dev it. Like, all of this is going to bite you at one point. Like, you're nearly fully built with manufactories, but you lack a lot of conscription centers and training fields. And, like, even workshops will be insane. But I don't really see a nation getting the boost it needs right now. Like, it has enough income, but it has next to no trade because it only has human as a node. And don't get me wrong, I just think human is a garbage node. And that's pretty problematic for your nation, not gonna lie. The country overall has still a lot of potential left. If you check the ideas, it's going trade ideas, which is in my opinion the best choice for the country at the moment. Diplomatic would have been an idea, and then you can just develop and force you on, like, for the sake of the argument, Sorry. Danke. Let's integrate these two problems. Simulate 706 and assimilate 4204. This tree is completed. Then he reforms Grey Juan. You just need to change anything. And then you can just get a new mission tree. Any kick Western shot. That's a new thingy, so Yuan does actually not get claims all over China. Wrong patch. Here then the formation of Qing would have been the best. But overall it can also be problematic. I just get to get some tissue to wipe my nose. We'll be right back. So I'm back. No, it's not working, so I don't give a fuck. Here also these ideas are significantly better than Manchu ideas in like next to every aspect. Even though Manchu ideas are a bit different in the mod, so I'm not 100% sure that one. Let's go over to Tang. Tang is a fucking rich country. It's next to fully built up. Yeah. Also them generals, man, damn generals. Like sometimes I really think you Manari say you really see that this is a mod, because some of these things are so strong it's ridiculous. Like you have China Emperor Superior, it's like nothing major, it's actually okay-ish. Then you have can't really see. Then you get 20% force limit, which is utterly retarded as a reform. Here you get 10% manpower, which is also great. I don't really know the other ones as you cannot really see them. And you here get 2 pips for free. What do we get here? A warlord no longer. Yeah, these are free endgame tags. Well, overall the region is really well devved. Non-EU is not that well devved in comparison, but non-EU already did some development as well. Non-EU overall as a country is like this similar, stands to Tang, but it's just weaker and needs to expand. But if Tang decides to smash NGO, would just die. And I also think that the ideas of Tang are insanely good. I think these are actually ideas which are kind of close to France. Some aspects, like as you can see, they are writing 2 pips, 10% of 5, just a bit weaker than France, for example. And then with the reforms, it's actually an insane country. Like as you can see, if you reroll a general, it's just insane how good they actually are. Like he doesn't even has more here. He doesn't even have army threat. Yeah, so let's go to Punjab. Also, I think, yeah, Monkey Man always has 6 pips. But just like retarded. Like overall, these Emperor of China reforms are like Pepega. Yeah, don't get me wrong, like this Punjab has so many problems. Like, man, like this is in United India. This is united, pretty much. Like, and for fucking next to no reason, this country is still sitting on Punjabi ideas, which are not bad, don't get me wrong, but it could have been Nepal, and it's converting to Telugu. Like, imagine this all into death. Like, this country would be insane. Like, this country is mismanaged on so many fronts, while it could still be so much stronger. Like, you also have pretty good states that are not even stated. Like, for example, why is this state already stated? Like, you're not deving it, and your next dev cycle is in 3 years. That's fair though. And you could dev this, but then you have states like Maidan, which is devable, Anemangar, which is also like an okay state because tropical modifiers got nerfed, so it's still good land to dev. At least dev it to 10 for buildings. And then you have like Agony, like Garja is also jungle, but you can also dev it to 10. Like, slowly get ready to develop this shit. Like, you develop most of the north, and you can see that so many more parts of India can actually be developed. Like, you're slowly getting here, but I think overall, if you went for Nepal, it would have been so much stronger. Like, you're at A now for income. Like, it's not like your nation is weak, but the nation threw away so much potential. Like, it's unreal to me. Like, it's still the strongest nation in the game, but you'd have been stronger. And I think you would actually get smacked by Tang in a war. Yeah, that's pretty much it for Punjab. Yeah, Persia is overall a messy country, same with Russia, so I will go over these countries in one. Like, I don't really know why you have a loan. You did next to no development in the last session. Country is in a weak spot. You're literally on Punjabi life support. You're like way too weak. You probably would lose a war to the Mamluks at this point. Like, even your max manpower, you're at 4k, right? This is something that's not really good. Like, Russia is at 7,000, which is also not good. Also, we're bankrupt. Like, it's on more than 50% to bankruptcy. Like, these countries are like, why is shit like Finland not even stated? Like, that's bro beggar. I will give a small overview over the Mamluks because I think Mamluks are playing well, but they are slave to their region. Because the region is utter garbage in EU4. Same with Mali. But Mali can probably form Andalusia. As forming Tunis. Which is pretty cool, I guess. Get better ideas. But yeah, like most of these countries are built up, but they're just in subpar regions. Like I still think playing Africa is not attractive at all, and I think if we remove some more negative modifiers, it could be way more attractive. Or if we move it up just to tech free, but I think Africa will always be worse in EU4 than Europe or India or China or even the Middle East, because like the trade node setup. If you take a look at it, like Persia node is pretty much an end node in 128. Will be changed to 130, but 130 will be a dumpster fire in its own right. Like India is really weird with nodes, but usually you have a good Bengal node. You have a good Coromandel node if you have no colonizers. China has a good Hongshu node. The Pon node is pretty decent. Malacca node is great. Constantinople is a good node. Venice is a good node. Genoa is a good node. English Channel is a good node. Novgorod, Baltic Sea, and Lubeck is a good node. And then you have here, like Ivory Coast is a garbage node. Gatsina is a garbage node. Timbuktu is a garbage node. And Safi and Tunis is a garbage node. Like, the nodes are just so bad for you. Like, Zanzibar is the only good node in the entirety of Africa, and Gulf of Aden as well, but that's not really what you want, which is disappointing. So, I will go over Spain, because Danny was actually very wholesome and asked. I think it looks good, but it's looking slightly subpar. Gulf of Aden makes more than Persia. No. Actually, no. This is the problem. I think if you Mamluks as a player country were better played than Persia, but simply because Persia is sitting in Persia and you are sitting here in the Gulf region. Like, it's so retarded. So, let's go over Spain's development. Can still def 7 jazz to 20. But it is what it is. Is nearly all def to 20. Like this is looking really weird. Because I don't really know why some of these figures are not. Like, it's a mountain, I know that, but I don't really get why some of these things are deft that way. That's not even deft at all, not even converted. If you see the manpower, you see that most manpower wise it's deft well, but like Spain has still one good mission, which is the Expel the Moriscos mission, which is probably one of the most underrated missions in the game. Like, I actually unironically think Spain's mission tree is one of the most underrated things in the entire game, because Spain's mission tree is utterly broken. As you can see, you're getting 5% for Prepare de Reconquista. Then you get an local defensive in Navarra for 20%. It's a pretty base event for pretty good advisor for missionary strength. And then you have this one, which is like so easy to do. And you get like 100 dip and 10% def cost for 20 years, which is essentially 2 cycles. And then you have the completing the Reconquista mission, which is also already finished, and you get 15%. You get 20% morale on top of your already existing 15% morale. Like, it's so retarded. Like, you even have other things here. Like, you have a Conquistador, which is decent if you go here, but you're not getting an Explorer usually, and so you're pretty much locked out of this tree. Like, I already thought about just going 2 ideas in to just unlock this tree. Because this tree overall is not bad, and you get a 4/4 general, which is pretty good early on, and you get Hernando Cortés, which is a 5/5 later on, the Casa de Concentración, And look, like you get so much good stuff in this tree. Like this tree is so fucking broken, man. Top tier ideas everywhere. Overall, you make an occasion amount of manpower, which will also be bumped up once you finished the rest of your fields. For example, if I check this area here, I'm pretty sure that you just build the standard buildings here, which will all be in why are there docks here? You could even theoretically build this here. Build a 4 or build whatever here. Like you can still dab it, and then you have so much more buildings. Like this is not having a barrack. For what reason? Like for what reason is this not dev to 20? And you're getting 2,500 manpower out of it. Like this is some stuff you can do. Like this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like this is overall probably if you dev this is like don't get me wrong, this is probably around 300,000 manpower if it's finished. You all of this so you get really good numbers, and yeah, you're just gonna need to finish converting it. But converting should be really fast. And well, we gotta see. Income wise, you have to pretty like sometimes I'm really thinking if some people are Pepega. Like you're making 204 via trade. Just for the sake of the argument. There's no really need to upgrade these. I just want to upgrade these because I'm hurting my eyes. I want to drag out as much shit as possible. Like, what are your burgers doing? Like currently, this should be different merchant. This is already bumping up your income to 209. Why are you not even killing off Portugal? Like, just kill it off. Who's going to defend it? Let's be real. Portugal is just a colonial powerhouse with no real allies besides you, so kill it off. Oh, I gotta reload. Imagine actually having a properly coded game that doesn't take forever. A good suggestion from Cardiacs. If that happens with Portugal, just make a deal that you're collecting in Genoa. Like, I don't know why you're not doing it. It should net you both more money. Pretty certain. Strong Prussia, biggest problem is that it's Protestant, not Orthodox. I think in this patch you can still be an Orthodox Prussia. I'm not sure on that one yet, although. Nearly finished with trade ideas, and the big problem is that it's funneling everything to Venice. I really dislike this trade setup. Like, Rhineland should go into Venice. Second best idea set in the game. One of the best governments in the game. Nations looking okay dev wise. And some stuff like here can still be devved. As you can see, also with manpower, like. It's okay with manpower, but once it's scored and everything, it will be great. On the military side, on a 132.5% standing discipline. Please remove that discipline advisor ASAP. Very strong country. But the problem for the country is, can this country expand? It needs to expand into Russia at this point, in my honest opinion. To become even stronger, like the number of provinces is 131. Deving wise is also looking good, but it still needs more power. Like, it's a bit lackluster on that front. Also, like, I guess you want to do trade because then you can collect in Champagne, and then send trade to Champagne or or do whatever here, because currently you're missing out on Krakow, Rhineland, and Champagne, which is not that cool. Fort wise, the setup is looking a bit weird. But that's just me. Like, you can simply just walk straight up into Prague, throw someone out of the balcony, and it's not looking that cool. Like Brandenburg. It is comparable, probably way weaker, but I think the potential for Brandenburg is way higher. It can still build tons of buildings. Income's not that hot though, and once that's all finished, this Brandenburg is scary. Like, this Brandenburg can swing everywhere around. Like, the army is insanely good. Who knows, maybe he can also form Prussia. Once Prussia forms Germany. Who knows? Double Prussia. But he's Orthodox. So maybe he's going to form Russia. Who knows? If this Russia ever manages to die. Otherwise, country is looking decent-ish, really good for the size, but of course it's a really small country, 79 provinces only. Hanover is pretty much stuck in the last century. It didn't really snowball that much. It's reformed, which is decent. But yeah, it's not like it should form a different attack. Like Hanover ideas are okay, but in hindsight, you only have 5% discipline, 10% fire damage received, and death cost. It's good for build-up, but it's garbage for late game. Byzantium is probably looking like the second strongest country in the world right now, also in a golden era. For 10 more years. 12th December 68. Yeah, we're sadly not getting an additional death cycle. It's making a fuck ton of cash. Is nearly fully built up. As you can see, nearly fully built on trading fields. You can still build plenty of conscription centers though. Pretty much fully built on universities on the relevant parts. Still has to build a lot more. As you can see, tons of stuff in the building process. Can still press this mission and re-establish the theme system. Like this is 25% manpower national manpower modifier, which will make this country even stronger than it already is. Probably also looking to get revolutionary. The question is just when will Byzantium start to expand into Persia or into another direction. Because Byzantium is at the point where it cannot really be stopped, and the only problem Byzantium actually has is a lack of provinces. So I guess the moment they want to strike, they will strike. And they should. Yeah, that was it for the Walrus POG Cast. Thanks for coming, and see you all nerds next week. That's just click. The best idea set in the game.